Diary. Why am I so bad at fantasy football? You know what? Scratch that. I'm really not that bad at fantasy football. I just have terrible luck in this league. I'm in 4 total leagues, and in 3 of them I made the playoffs, and you know what? Those teams are really good. I have a shot at going all the way in those leagues. But not this one. I have terrible luck. Guess which GM had the most points scored against them? Me. Guess which GM was only 36 points away from finishing in first place in his division, which would have given him the number 2 seed, but yet did not make the playoffs? Me. Why am I still writing in a diary when I'm 35 years old? I have no idea. But I guess there's nothing else to do. But you know what? I guess I could make a video so everybody can make fun of me and bring joy to the world, if you would, pardon the pun. And you know what? That's what I'm going to do. To the 2014 Everybody Has a Price Fantasy Football League predictions, brought to you by Jason Miller, who is coming with friends this time. And every show, every football pregame show, you have to sit and watch a panel. So this time I brought my friends. First of all, we have Ira Blog.
Yes, the pleasure is all yours, I'm sure. I just love your explanation of how it's never your fault, fantasy-wise, Jason. You're just Mr. Unlucky. Nothing ever bad happens to you. It's fantastic.
Everybody's favorite old guy, Sean Connery.
Yes, thank you for the rousing introduction, Jason. A very interesting sport, this football is. They kick around a pigskin and there's lots of cheerleaders. That's my favorite part.
I had some more expert analysts for this show. We have everybody's favorite farmer, Southern Draw.
Thank you for having me, I suppose. You know, it's kind of surprising to me that I'm good enough to be in this. I wasn't good enough to be in the fantasy football previews. I was good enough for the trailer. Tease everybody and think they're going to see some Southern Draw. Nope. Wasn't good enough for that. But apparently I'm good enough for this. Yes, I am. Yes, sir.
Oh, you actually remember that? Well, anyway, that was a long time ago. And right now, I just need expert analysts on this show. And anybody that's on this show is going to be called an expert analyst, even though you have no idea what you're talking about. Which brings us to our next one, Flo Snookums.
There's always one girl who thinks she knows. It's an unbiased opinion with Flo.
I'm unbiased all the time. I don't need some cute little graphic to tell me so.
All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get into the matchups. First off, the first matchup we have, the number 4 seed, Joe Pa's successor with a 7-6 record against the number 5 seed, Torres. What a great fantasy football name, but Torres is the number 5 seed. He has a 7-6 record. What do you guys think about this fantastic matchup?
I personally like...
Please show patience. It's not your turn.
Not what your mother said last night.
Number 1, that's highly inappropriate, okay? Very, very inappropriate, and my mom better not have been with you last night.
Good God, man. No, your mind is in the gutter. Get it out. No, we were playing cards last night. We were playing canasta. Of course I was winning because that's what I do. I win.
Okay, before this spirals out of control, let's jump in and get into the meat. Basically, what you've got is you've got Torres is going to be the victor. Basically, it revolves all around the quarterback play. Roethlisberger going to be amazing, having a big game against Cincinnati, scoring all kinds of points fantasy-wise. Yeah, he's going to throw some left-handed. See, yeah, and Drew Brees playing against Carolina. Carolina gives up all kinds of points. So yes, Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, the two quarterbacks in a two quarterback league, scoring all kinds of points. Winner, Victor Torres.
Those are good quarterbacks. Yes, sir, they are. But I think the most glaring reason that Team Torres wins is that Calvin Johnson feller. Yep, Calvin Johnson against a yucky Tampa Bay defense. I can see 200 yards out of Calvin Johnson. Torres wins easily.
Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes.
Hello Steelers. Torres has Roethlisberger. Of course he's gonna move on.
I tend to agree with you guys. The matchups are just better. I'm going with Torres, but I think we still have, after all those shenanigans, I think there's still one guy who has not given us his result. Sean, who do you like?
I forget the teams now. I don't remember.
So, recapping, we've got 4 votes for Team Torres, 1 Sean without a clue. So going on to the next matchup, the 3 seed, 2 Mannings and 1 Cup at 9 and 4 against the 6 seed, Last Sample at a 7 and 6 clip. Ira, give me some knowledge, go!
This one is a virtual toss-up. It's so tough to call. On one side, you've got the quarterback, Tom Brady, who's been the hottest fantasy player of the last 6 weeks. And on the other side, you've got an amazing receiving core. You've got A.J. Green, Randall Cobb, and Dez Bryant. Watch out.
Make a decision, man.
Decision you pick, Sean.
I picked Joe Pa's successor.
Hello Sean. That was the last matchup. Are you not paying attention?
I am now, you saucy little minx.
Do you fellers know what happens in December? In December, Peyton Manning becomes Peyton Awful. And that's because it's cold outside. And cold Manning means 0 fantasy points. Not really 0, but you know what I'm saying. Not a lot. And that means that the number 3 seed ain't winning this matchup. Number 6 seed, Last Sample, moves on.
It's actually a great point. I go with Last Sample on this one.
Sure. I don't really care who wins anyway.
Yeah, then it's pretty much unanimous. We're going with the upset. The 6 seed, Last Sample, upsets the number 3 seed, 2 Mannings and 1 Cup, which leads us to the next round. And you know what? For the sake of argument, I'm not even sure because I've never made the playoffs in this league, or if I did, I don't remember. And I don't know if we reseed or not, but for this, I'm going to say we do not reseed for the next round. So what does that mean? That means in my fake prediction show for fake sports, I've got the number 1 seed Bolts coming off that first round bye. The 9 and 4 Bolts taking on Team Torres, the number 5 seed. Who do you like, Sean?
I like KTFO. Hiya!
What are you talking about, Sean? That's not even a choice. That team didn't make the playoffs. Listen, it's going to be the Colts. Okay, you've got Bolts' Colts, Bolts. You've got Luck throwing touchdowns to Hilton, and they are going to light up the fantasy board. Team Bolts comes out on top. They are victorious.
Although Chicago has what we shall say is not a stout defense, it's gonna be cold in Chicago, and Drew Brees will not be very well, and that means that the winner will definitely be Bolts. Bolts moving on in the fantasy realm. SD Southern Draw. Are you a weatherman now, SD? It's funny you should mention that, Jason, because in my old profession I was a weatherman. I didn't like my fake persona though. Hello everybody, and this is Weatherman Southern Draw, and I'm not a meteorologist. I just present the weather well. Let me tell you, there is a 100% chance that you will complain about the weather down here in the South, and you'll still live down here anyway. Back to you, Don. As you can see, that really was not me, so it really wasn't my thing.
I like the weatherman Southern Drawl. He gives good energy. You know how I feel about the Steelers. Of course Torres is going to win.
When in doubt, I go with the team that scored the most regular season points. That is Team Torres. So that means we are a 2-2 tie. We need a tiebreaker. Sean, break me off a little something, something with a prediction. Go.
I picked Team Torres because I like to roll my Raj. Yeah, something like that.
So there you have it. In a shocker, the number 5 seed, Team Torres, gets to the championship of the Everybody Has a Price Fantasy Football League. But who is he going to play in the championship? We have the number 2 seed, Steel Curtain, 8-5, coming off their bye. They're well rested, very well rested. And they are playing the 6 seed, Last Sample. Who do you like, Flo?
Last Sample.
Okay, Ira.
Last Sample.
Southern.
Last Sample.
Okay, Sean.
Last Sample.
Is this such an easy decision for you guys?
Well, Jason, if you only had 36 points less, if you only had 36 points less than Steel Curtain, and you think Steel Curtain's gonna win a playoff game as bad as your team is now? Yeah. Steel Curtain's not gonna win. Steel Curtain's gonna lose.
Sir, that's the reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that is the reason.
I hate you all, and you will get no Christmas cards from me. That said, the number 5 seed, Torres, versus the number 6 seed, Last Sample. Who do you like? Ira.
Okay, you get to the championship week and you have to look ahead and see what teams they play, and that's where it comes down to. Drew Brees against Atlanta. Atlanta's awful. They're terrible, and there you go. Drew Brees is going to throw for 4 touchdowns against them. And then you've got Calvin Johnson against the Bears, who I think had back-to-back weeks where they gave up 50 points. The Bears are terrible. Calvin Johnson is awesome. Team Torres wins the championship and dances around with the trophy over his head like a volleyball trophy. Like that.
I personally like both the Falcons and the Lions in both of those games.
Sean, is this real life right now? Flo, take it away.
Torres takes home the trophy, all because of Big Ben.
Well, let me tell you, it's gonna be cold.
Don't get to play the cold card. It's going to be cold everywhere in the end of December / early January.
Not in New Orleans, son. Not in New Orleans. New Orleans is a different animal, and Drew Brees is a different man when he's down there. He'll throw for 4 touchdowns, and Team Torres will take home the championship.
So, a couple of factors here. I'm going with Torres, number 1, because healthy Megatron equals a lot of fantasy points. And number 2, in an ironic twist of karma, okay? Torres is going to win because he was not at the draft, the in-person draft, giving index cards, and whatever this guy touches turns to gold, and there you go. He comes out smelling like flowers even though he's not there. So it either makes him really smart or all of us really dumb. I believe it's actually neither of those things. I think that fantasy football is a complete and utter toss-up, and you have no idea what's going to happen week to week. That said, I hope everybody had a fun season playing. I know I sure as heck fire didn't, but at least there is one positive for this season. I can sing my new favorite song. No eyes in heart, no eyes in heart, no eyes in heart in the playoffs. No eyes in heart, no eyes in heart, no eyes in heart in the playoffs. No eyes in heart. No eyes in heart.